The James Webb Telescope, famously named after the former NASA administrator, has just released new images that has the science community extremely excited. On Christmas morning last year, NASA's James Webb Space Telescope was launched from New Guinea on a European Ariane rocket on a mission to search for light from the first stars and galaxies. The telescope has taken exceptional images of an unexceptional star as a test of its capabilities after completing the self-assembly of its 18-segmented main mirror. What do these images look like? What are the futuristic implications? Keep watching to find out. The James Webb Space Telescope is the most powerful, largest, and most complex space science telescope ever built. Scientists believe that the telescope will look beyond our solar system to distant worlds orbiting other stars, as well as the mystery, architecture, and origins of our universe and our place in it. Webb is a NASA-led international effort involving the European Space Agency and the Canadian Space Agency as partners. But just who is James Webb, and why does he have a telescope named after him? The Space Observation Instrument was named after James Webb, a former NASA administrator who served from February 1961 to October 1968. As a result, Webb worked for NASA from the beginning of John F. Kennedy's presidency through the end of Lyndon B. Johnson's, and many people believe that Webb achieved more for science than any other government official, and that the next generation space telescope is only fittingly named after him. The first phase of the James Webb Space Telescope's months-long process of matching the observatory's primary mirror with the near-infrared camera sensor is finally complete. Basically, the telescope is essentially a giant mirror that can see much beyond what scientists have seen before using infrared. It's supposedly the most massive and complicated of its kind. Wondering what makes this telescope unique? Well, 4 essential pieces of equipment are housed inside, each capable of capturing light from hundreds of millions of miles away, including a camera for photographing. Scientists have high expectations, it seems. According to NASA Program Director Greg Robinson, hundreds of release mechanisms must function like nothing we've ever done before. Eventually, many believe the kit will be able to see through thick dust storms that obscure distant planets. Getting past this could assist us in the direction of life, but scientists doubt we'll encounter aliens using it. In an interview, Caroline Harper of the UK Space Agency told The Sun, "It'll be able to do a lot of things, but I don't think that's on the list of things it'll be able to accomplish. Also, I hardly think aliens are on the list of objectives for the science that NASA has come up with." She explained further, saying, "If you can examine exoplanet atmospheres, you can hunt for compounds that might be essential for life, or suggest the presence of life, but it's the closest we'll get to finding little green men." The team's task was twofold. First, establish that the near-infrared camera was ready to capture light from celestial objects, and then, in each of the 18 primary mirror segments, identify starlight from the same star. Webb's unaligned mirror segments all reflect light from the same star back at Webb's secondary mirror and into near-infrared camera detectors, resulting in an image mosaic of 18 randomly organized spots of starlight. What appears to be a basic image of fuzzy starlight is now used to align and focus the telescope, allowing Webb to give unprecedented views of the universe. After decades of planning and construction, the $10 billion infrared telescope was launched in December, and astronomers were ecstatic when it successfully unfolded in space. On December 25, 2021, the world's largest and most powerful space telescope was finally launched into orbit in a significant high-stakes mission. The optimism of the science community was infectious, as Arianespace CEO Stefan Israel stated, "This morning, we launched for humanity. After Webb, we'll never look at the sky the same way again." Fast forward a few months later, and images of a boring star are now causing a stir in the scientific community today. They are the first images returned from NASA's James Webb Telescope, and they have surpassed all expectations. The optics of the James Webb Space Telescope appear to be working quite well. According to a super sharp image supplied by NASA, the telescope has taken exceptional images of an unexceptional star as a test of its capabilities after completing the self-assembly of its 18-segmented main mirror. The star, designated HT 84406, is 100 times fainter than what the naked eye can see. Astronomers seem to be more interested in the spray of small dots dispersed across the background than in the star itself, as wonderful as its image is. Each galaxy is far away, and this is the first time we've been able to photograph it. NASA officials expressed their immense excitement and relief at what these initial photographs reflect in a virtual briefing. According to Michael McElwain, Webb Observatory Project scientist at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, launching Webb into space was exhilarating, but for scientists and optical engineers, this is a pinnacle moment. Experts claim these aren't scientific photographs, though. Rather, they're engineering images designed to see how well all of the elements of this engineering miracle function together. The telescope has a staggeringly complicated design, and the stakes are high. While the Hubble telescope revolves around the Earth and is within our grasp to service, James Webb orbits the Sun nearly 3,000 times further away. While this greatly increases our vision of deep space, it also eliminates the ability to make modifications or corrections if something goes wrong. Apparently, the strain to ensure that every component of the telescope was correct before sending it into orbit was immense, and it resulted in several delays. However, it seems that these new images are just a beacon of hope for what's to come. On this note, Lee Feinberg, Webb Optical Telescope Element Manager at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center, stated, "We indicated last autumn that when we see an image of a star that looks like a star, we'll know the telescope is working properly. At this point, you're seeing that vision, and I'm pleased to report that the telescope's optical performance is outstanding, and it is performing admirably. The result is on par with, if not better than, our most optimistic forecast." The James Webb's 18 independent mirror parts have now been correctly positioned, according to scientists, so that they may act as one gigantic mirror measuring around 21 feet across. Webb was repointed to 156 different points around the projected location of the star throughout the image capture phase, which began February 2nd and generated 1,560 photos using the near-infrared camera's 10 detectors, totaling 54 terabytes of raw data. It turns out that despite the fact that the entire operation took approximately 25 hours, the observatory was able to find the target star in each of its mirror segments within the first 6 hours and 16 exposures. After that, the photos were stitched together to create a single enormous mosaic that captures the signature of each primary mirror section in a single frame. Talk about groundbreaking. Enjoying this video so far? Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. The resulting photographs presented are merely a small part of a much larger mosaic, which has over 2 billion pixels. Because of its vast field of vision and unique ability to safely work at higher temperatures than the other equipment, it was purposefully chosen to be utilized for the telescope's early alignment procedures. Scientists say it's also jam-packed with specially developed components that were created to help the process. The future's looking bright for science because, according to scientists, Webb can only get better. As Webb begins to record data, the images will only get clearer, more detailed, and more complicated. Later this year, the first scientific photographs are scheduled to be released to the public. Though these new images are a significant milestone in demonstrating that Webb is a working telescope, it seems more work remains in the months ahead to ready the observatory for full scientific operations with all 4 of its components. Scientists say weeks of engineering work remain before the telescope is ready to do science, as it must be fully configured to work with all of its various equipment. The James Webb Telescope is expected to be operating for 10 years, according to NASA. It should be able to gather light that illustrates how some of the early galaxies looked just a few 100 million years after the Big Bang starting this summer. The telescope will also be used to look for chemical fingerprints that could reveal the presence of life in the atmospheres of planets orbiting distant stars, which we can all agree is quite exciting. Comment below for a monthly shout-out and to participate in our monthly giveaway. Don't miss out on the fun. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out other videos we've made.